Hi friends, it's Deanna Willison with Our Blooming Catholic Life, and by popular request, we are going to talk today about the office of the dead. It's kind of a bizarre mystery. Shouldn't come as a mystery to you that there's a mystery in the Catholic faith. So where did it come from? Where has it gone? The office of the dead. It seems that the purpose or history of it is that it is said on the day of the burial, or you could say it on the anniversary of someone's death. It calls it other suitable occasions. And I know in a lot of cultures, they do celebrate like the 6-month anniversary, the 1-year anniversary. So they have a series of them that they do. And so maybe this is said at those appropriate times. It can also be said on All Souls Days, but it's not like there's any restriction on when you could say it. And there's always people dying and being buried, so it could always be a blessing. I'm of the mind that you could totally pick people obituaries out of the paper and pray for them, especially for the poor and the homeless. You wouldn't even have to know their names, and you could pray this for them. It seems similar to me to the devotion of the Divine Mercy Chaplet for the sick and the dying, but these are for people who have already passed. Now, where did it come from? I looked at a number of sites. I'll be honest, I looked at all the books, I looked at all the websites, and even the same source will contradict itself as to where this came from. It seems that it is a very ancient Christian tradition. At times, it's been linked with St. Augustine or St. Ambrose or Origen or St. Isidore. Some say we can't really find it until the 7th or 8th century. Some say no, definitely the 8th or 9th. And that there are elements of it as far back as the 2nd century. So it seems that right away, this was a practice of the people to pray for the dead. And that should come as no surprise. And that at some point, it got organized. Sorry about that brief interruptions, friends. It is a fine spring day, and there are squirrels that are needing to be chased. So my little dog jumped up and had to get out, and he bumped me on his way. So elements of it as far back as the 2nd century. And it should not come as any surprise, right? Because we care about our family. We care about the dead. We care about the poor and the homeless. And that's always been a Christian tradition, so it should not be shocking that we are going to pray for the dead. In an article on how to pray the ancient and powerful office of the dead, Kevin D. Camilo he kind of makes his own version here. I won't lie. He's like, if you can't afford a book to do it, here's this. But here's the great thing. That article is in the National Catholic Register. It was on the 2nd of November, 2017, if you want to look that up. There are several free options if you need a free option. ibreviary has it, as well as ibreviary. So you can find those both online. They're .coms. And they both basically follow the big 4-volume. All of the 4-volume Liturgy of the Hours books are going to have it in the back. So it doesn't matter which one you have. If you need to see the Office of the Dead, it's in the back of all those books. So iBreviary basically follows the 4-volume, but it has some alternatives. It has those little or, like do this psalm or that psalm, this hymn or that hymn. eBreviary, however, does not have all those alternatives. So if you're looking for a free version and you want to be sure everybody is literally on the same page, you are probably going to want ebreviary.com, because the 4-volume and iBreviary both have options. We'll get into the options in a second. Again, you can go to National Catholic Register. He's going to show you a format for playing it, like a formula. And I'm pretty sure I still have that up. Yep, I still have it up on my phone. Nope, lost it. It popped to one of the other ones. It popped over to iBreviary. So lost that one, friends. Let's see if we can just hit the backspace and go back to it. Again, if you search for Office of the Dead, even a PDF, you're going to get that pretty quick. Here it is. Comes up pretty quick. Let's see, he has, what is his formula? Begin with, O Lord, open my lips, and my mouth will declare your praise. Make a small cross on your lips. use Psalm 95. You can also use 124, 67. You can see he's already giving you options. The options things gets out of control when it doesn't tell you why you're using the options. And then he says, after each strophe in the psalm, repeat, come, let us worship the Lord. All things live for him. So that's like doing the inventory. And he says at the end of a psalm, recite the glory be, repeat the antiphon again, then pick a hymn. Any suitable dirge will do. Then he's like, read Psalms 40 and 42. And then he tells you, oh, but it's a little confusing, and here's some antiphons. And so he gives you this little formula. He gives you a little formula. But there's still options within the formula. You have like 1, 2, 3 different readings even. And then, oh my goodness, he gives you, if you need a patristic reading, there's options there. So he's really doing the office of the readings is what he's secretly doing there. So those are some of your options right there. Let's get to what it looks like in most forms now, since we were talking about his format. In the forms, in the little office of the Blessed Virgin Mary and the office of the dead, it has matins, lauds, and vespers. Now here's the thing. It has, normally you would go and pray your normal lauds and then do the office of the dead's matin and lauds. And when you pray your normal daily vespers, you would add vespers. It's called like doubling down. But in this version, after every psalm, what you're going to say is the requiem aeternam. You're not going to say the glory be. And here's one of the reasons they say it's an older one, because we're not doing any doxology. We're not doing the glory be. This is older than that, and that didn't exist. And so what we said, and it makes complete sense to say it, if you're wondering what is requiem aeternam, the Latin for this is pretty clear as to what you're saying. It's going to make sense, but I'll go ahead and say it in English for you if you want the Latin and English translations. They're both in here. Eternal rest grant unto him or they, O Lord, and let perpetual line shine upon him or they. Okay, and all the books will tell you, add the gender and number appropriate to your situation. Okay, so that's the main thing here. This book also has Nocturns. What are Nocturns? Let's get in here. It says the office of the dead. Oh, I already said all that. On All Souls Day, all 3 Nocturns are said. On other days, 1 Nocturne is said according to the following order. You would do first Nocturne on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays, second Nocturne for Tuesdays and Fridays, third Nocturne for Wednesdays and Saturdays. On the day of burial, the first Nocturne is always said. Okay. And what is a Nocturne? It's just like in the office of the Blessed Virgin Mary, where you say different things on different days of the week. It gives it a little bit of a variety. Now, what about night prayer? You're going to notice not all the offices are there. This only has matins, lauds, and vespers in it. The Office for the Dead in the 4-volume, as well as most of the apps and Christian prayer. This is going to be a little bit different. Okay, it's going to have the inventory, which basically just tells you to say the inventory with a slightly different antiphon. It gives you an antiphon. It gives you an actual hymn, which is Keep in Mind, which is interesting because we sing Keep in Mind that Jesus Christ has died for us and is risen from the dead, but we don't normally sing the entire hymn. It's an entire hymn, folks. Okay. Right over there. And then we're going to come over. It has an antiphon, a psalm. So it proceeds like normal. It's telling you to say glory to the Father at the end of all psalms and canticles. It's a little different. When we get through the psalms, it starts having alternates. So instead of telling you the nocturnes, which apparently is super oppressive to tell you what to say on what day, they just say alternative. Again, that makes it difficult to say in choir, but the Office of the Dead was one of the first offices to be open to the laity who might have been saying it alone. And so just saying randomly alternatives works, but you may be saying it like before somebody's funeral or something, and so you want to say it together. The nocturne system works better for me personally. So what's in Christian prayer in the 4-volume? They have the inventory. the office of readings, they have morning prayer, they have all 3 of the daytime hours. Again, it only varies by antiphon, and they have evening prayer as well. The difference is then it also tells you one of these many forms said if you really want to do night prayer, you take that from Sunday. So you would go to Sunday's night prayer and grab that. I guess you could take over some antiphons from one of the earlier hours if you wanted. Advantages, disadvantages, what's going on here? I'd like to point out, although I cannot find the source today, I know in a previous video I had researched it and found it, that how this really came about. I mean, we talked about, history, just we don't know who started it, but it kind of came about because way back, people didn't necessarily get buried right away, right? So a person dies and you may have them laid out in your home for a day or so for people to come and say goodbye. And so this office was said in front of the body, and whoever was coming to visit, right, they could come and join in the prayer depending on the hour, and that you could pray continually while the deceased still remained in your home. That doesn't really happen anymore, so now we say it on the day of burial. Again, I don't have a source for that. I really apologize. It is in previous research. It's in a much older video, like maybe at least a year ago, but I do remember that research, and that makes sense to me. As well as I feel like if you have someone who has just died, I mean, when I know that they're on death's door, I do pray the Divine Mercy Chaplet for the sick and dying. If you don't have that, get out to the Divine Mercy Fathers and grab that. The National Shrine of Divine Mercy. I'll try and remember to put that in the description. Folks, if you aren't reading my descriptions, you're missing out a lot. I try and give you all the websites and sources that I get this information from. And so you're going to want to go out and read those descriptions. I try and spell it out a little bit more. And so you can find it. So you don't have to watch the entire video another time if you want to go back and see where I got something from. Or how to spell something to look it up. So the office of the dead. And so yes, if you find out that a loved one is on death's door, I would pray the Divine Mercy Chaplet for the sick and dying. And when you have been confirmed that they're dead and that you've already prayed that, I'm going to jump into the little office of the office of the dead, whether you want to pray it in Latin and English or you just want to do English. This book to me is easiest. Why? Because it's a pocket form. Like I said before, it's super squishy, so you can throw it in any backpack, purse. It's going to fit in a purse. And so it's very accessible to you that you would be able to go grab this. Even if you're home, knowing it's in your purse for me would be quite a blessing. And I could go and grab this one quick and say the Office of the Dead. As well as, there's certain anniversaries, whether it's a person's birthday or the anniversary of their death or, just certain times, something that you used to do with the person. It can even be Christmas or Easter, and Easter is coming up. That's one of the reasons I'm doing this video. It was a popular request, as well as Easter is coming up, and so it seemed kind of poignant. But go ahead and grab it. If you're feeling that alone, if you're feeling that sorrow for the person, be united to them. Go ahead and grab this and pray the Office of the Dead. Pray the Divine Mercy Chaplet. That one's super easy to memorize, so that's the benefit of the Divine Mercy Chaplet. Although the full Divine Mercy Chaplet for the sick and dying is much longer and should really be prayed in adoration if you're not at the person's bedside. I think that's it. Oh, one of the references said, really, this is only going to take you about a half an hour to say any of the Office of the Dead. And the Divine Mercy Chaplet is normally, we all know, like maybe 15 minutes, but the full-on Divine Mercy Chaplet for the sick and dying, if you do the entire thing, it takes about an hour. That's why it's perfect for adoration. Besides, it's perfect to pray that at literally in the presence of the physical Lord. I guess that's it, friends. And you've been writing in, you've been telling me, hey, I've got yet another version of the little Office of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Whew, there's so many, and that's such a great blessing. I know I'm getting into these videos telling you technically what's different about them, but if you're praying any of them, God bless you. I mean, I think that's the whole point, is to get out there and pray them. And the fact that there are many versions, that it keeps being reprinted, that it has survived the ages in its many forms, is amazing. God is blessing the little office of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Amen, amen. Great friends. That is such a treasure of ours. And so I want you to get out there and celebrate as well. I just want to let you know, I am setting up an interview with someone who may be able to teach us how to chant the little office of the Blessed Virgin Mary. I've been highlighting some of her videos in our playlist. Get out there and watch them. If you have questions for her, shoot them out to me. I'm very excited to have her on. Can I get her exact name? Her name is almost identical to another one of our friends, so I want to make sure I get it correct. Veronica Brandt. She's going to be on. Hopefully soon we can set up that interview. I'm very excited. So if you have any questions for her about using chant in the Liturgy of the Hours or in Mass, or of course the little office of the Blessed Virgin Mary, put them in the comments below and I'll try and include as many as I can. God bless you, friends. I'm not sure if I will see you before Easter, but if not, have a blessed holiday season. And may you turn always to the Lord and rejoice in his resurrection. God bless you, friends.